Hey friends, I'm doing another embroidery journal. If this is your first time here, I'm Lindsay Stitches. I am a hand embroidery artist based in Western Australia. And in 2020 and 2022, I stitched one thing every day to represent my daily memories. And I'm doing it again in 2025. When I asked on Instagram a few weeks ago if people wanted to see longer form video updates of what I have been up to and what I've been stitching, a lot of people said yes. And I was kind of hesitant to do them because my last embroidery journal that I did in 2022, I was making YouTube video updates at the end of each month and it was fun, but the last 3 or 4 months of the year were kind of hard and I stopped making the YouTube videos, and I don't want to start it again if I'm just going to stop it, but I can't finish it if I don't start it. So I am back. It's the 7th of February. I haven't obviously started stitching February yet, but I've finished January and I was like, okay, well, now is the best time to do a YouTube update before I start stitching February, and I want to do that today. So I was like, okay, I kind of just have to make a video. So here we are. So after I finished my 2022 embroidery journal, because the last few months were so hard and I found them so mentally challenging and draining, I decided that I would never do another embroidery journal again. But then coming up to 2025, I kept thinking about a comment that someone left on one of my TikTok videos when I was sharing my 2020 embroidery journal. I remembered someone commented asking me if I ever thought about the fact that maybe one day my embroidery journal would be on like Antiques Roadshow or something and people would cherish it and it would be so special. And I was like, no, I had never really thought about that. While I was stitching it, I didn't really think about how I would feel about it in the future. I was only doing it for myself at that time. But yeah, coming into 2025, I kept thinking about that comment and I was like, you know what? It really would be special for 80-year-old, maybe Lindsay, to have something like this to look back on. And while I already have 2, I just really wanted to do another one with that thought in mind. So I decided to do another one. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it is going so far. And the other thing is that throughout the year, to remember the reason for the things that I've stitched, I've also got my Frankie diary where I write not only the things that I did stitch, but also I've written down like notes about different things that have happened on each day that I could choose to stitch. And I've been doing little drawings, little practice drawings before I draw them onto my embroidery journal. So I've been sticking some like fun things in there as well. So yeah, I guess let's take a look at all of the things that I did in January and what I stitched. So on the 1st of January, we went to our friends Lucy and Michael's new house for their little housewarming party, and my friend Ellie came with her 4-month-old baby Harriet, and Harriet was in her little rocker thing and I was bouncing her and kept her asleep for like an hour, which Ellie was very happy about. So she has these little like spinny toy things on her rocker, so I stitched those. It's like 2 little butterflies and a flower. On the 2nd, I was heading down to the beach to meet some friends to go for a swim and then for a coffee, and Josh had actually been out for a bike ride and he was about to head down and meet us there as well. But when I was in the car on my way down to the beach, I got a call from Josh who told me that he had crashed his bike, and obviously I went and picked him up. So for that day, I stitched Josh's little scratched up face. He looks kind of weird there. It doesn't look like him at all, but I'm not in the business of spending too much time or doing things again this year on my embroidery journal. I'm just stitching it, accepting it as it is. So it looks funny, but that's okay. On the 3rd, I was sitting outside in the backyard reading my book in the morning, and the kids a couple of doors down were blowing bubbles and the bubbles were floating into the backyard and it was so cute. So I stitched some little bubbles there. So something that I have been wanting to do for ages is to go up to Kings Park and watch the sunrise. So on the 4th, Josh and Mosby and I got up super early and went up to Kings Park to watch the sunrise because it's got a really beautiful view over the city to the east and it was really nice. But the thing that I stitched was the fact that there were also a few kookaburras like in the trees and it felt like they were sitting there watching the sunrise with us and it was so cute. So I stitched a little kookaburra there. On the 5th, I went for a swim down at the beach and got bitten by a blowfish. Blowfish are like, I feel like they're a relative of a pufferfish. I don't know if they are pufferfish, like I don't know if they puff up, but I feel like they're poisonous. I don't know if I'm telling you fake news, but I feel like they're poisonous, at least to dogs, maybe only if you eat them. Anyway, it's a common occurrence to get bitten by blowfish when you're at the beach, and they have eggs, I think, in the water. So for that, I stitched a blowfish. On the 6th, I made a Lindsay Stitches word search. So the thing that I stitched for that was just a couple of words that are in the word search. And the reason that I did that is because recently my friend Tessa bought me a subscription to the Better Homes and Gardens puzzle book, which is hilarious. And I actually really enjoy doing those puzzles. I was doing one day and I was like, oh my God, wouldn't it be so fun to make like a Lindsay Stitches or embroidery related puzzle every month and send them out to my email subscribers. So the word search that I made was for that purpose, and I sent that to my email subscribers, and my friend Nora was the first person to do it, so she wins a prize. So if you want to do Lindsay Stitches puzzles once a month and potentially win a prize, then you should sign up to my email list. On the 7th, I started stitching the Charlton Motel, which is one of the buildings that I've had on my list of things that I want to stitch for a while. That is in Victoria, and it's got these beautiful arch windows, so I stitched an arch window to represent that. On Wednesday the 8th, I went to a day on the green to see Sierra Ferrell. I think Sierra's only been to Australia like one other time, and she didn't come to Perth. So when I saw that she was coming to Perth, I was like, oh my God, I have to go and see her. It's not every day that you get the opportunity to see one of your favorite artists when, you know, you live in a weird place. So I bought a ticket to a day on the green, which was like $140 just to see her. And so for that, I stitched her braid that she wore on the day. On the 9th, I was working on stitching one of my favorite coffee shops down in South Freo called Kerfuffle, and I was not happy with the colors that I'd used. It has like a blue door and some blue trims on the building. I was not happy with that blue that I'd chosen, so I took it all out and stitched it with a different blue, and it looked so much better. So I stitched the blue door to represent that. So my boss and friend, Kate Hewlett, is running in the WA state election that's coming up, which is pretty crazy and amazing. And on the 10th of January, she had a campaign launch. And so for that, I stitched Kate for state. On the 11th, Josh and I got a hot dog from Run Amok Hot Dog down in South Freo, so I stitched a hot dog there. I was never really a hot dog person until recently when Josh I think he'd gone out for drinks after work in the city, and so I was at home by myself, and I was like, I'm gonna go get takeaway. And I decided to get a hot dog and go and sit at the beach, and it was just the best night. So since then, I've become like a hot dog fiend, and I want to get them every time we get takeaway. On the 12th, I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is not that many, but you know, it's pretty funny that I don't really upload videos that often, and pretty much everyone that has subscribed has come from my first video, which was from my 2022 embroidery journal. I did like a tutorial at the start of the year for how to start your own embroidery journal. At the start of every year, it has like a spike in views, and so I get a lot of views from that and a lot of new subscribers, and I just think it's so funny that I've not really done that much on YouTube, and I don't get many views on any of my other videos, but it's just that one that gets me a bunch of people seeing stuff. So for that, I just stitched 1,000. On Monday the 13th, I went to the op shop and bought a cute little pink and orange dress, and so I stitched that there. And also the op shop gave me this, they were doing a thing where they give you like a little thing where you can win something, and I won 10% off my next shop at Vinnie's, but I think I can do without 10% off at the op shop, so I've stuck it in here instead. On the 14th, I was going to work, and I was walking into the shop, and I saw my friend Kim and her greyhound Spud, who work at a shop around the corner, and we chatted for a minute, and then she also came to visit me in the shop at the end of the day. And so for that, I stitched her beautiful dog Spud, because he's such a cutie. On the 15th, my friend Emily, who lives in Sydney, sent me a photo of herself wearing a top that matched my pink and orange dress that I had bought from the op shop the other day. Emily and I used to live together like 10 years ago at home in Launceston, and before we even lived together, we used to accidentally match all the time when we hung out. Also, when we lived together, on our lounge room wall, we had Plop and Emo written in gold balloons because that was our nicknames that we used at the time. So for that day, I stitched Plop and Mo just to represent our friendship, and because I think it's so cute that we're still matching even though we're far away from each other and we don't get to see each other very often. On Thursday the 16th, I went with my friend Nora for a Seagulls dip. So Seagulls is like a sunrise swimming group for women. Such a nice way to start the day. I love going for a swim with Nora and then getting a coffee afterwards. It's so lovely. So for that, I stitched the Seagulls logo. On Friday the 17th, I went to a bookshop in Claremont to buy a book called Figuring Out 30 by Bridget Huswaite. So for that, I stitched the front cover. Nora had told me the day before that she was listening to the audiobook, and also I'd seen on Instagram that Bridget had signed a couple of copies at the bookshop that I ended up going to, and I was like, if I'm going to buy it, I might as well buy a signed copy. So I went for a little drive and bought the book. On Saturday the 18th, my friend Matey's house to celebrate her birthday, and we played a game called Mulkey, or Finska, I think it's also known as. So I stitched one of the little game things there. On Sunday the 19th, we helped our friends Kate and Chris do some things at their new house that they're about to move into, and Josh and I were tasked with the job of putting the house number on the front of the house. So for that, I stitched the number 4. On Monday the 20th, I went to Spud Shed, which is our locally owned grocery shop here in WA, and I got served by my favourite employee, Maureen. She's always so lovely. You don't always get nice people when you go to the supermarket, so it's always just such a delight when you get someone who's actually nice and wants to talk to you. So for that, I just stitched her name, which is Maureen. On Tuesday the 21st, I went to the beach for dinner with some friends. Josh lent me a cutting tool to cut off the ends of the cable ties that were holding up Kate's election signs. We'd seen them a few days ago, and Josh was so mad that people had put them up and not cut the ends off the cable ties. So he gave me this tool to take with me and cut them off. On Wednesday the 22nd, I had been at work and I was walking back to my car, and I saw a guy throw popcorn at a car because it didn't stop and let him cross the road, and I thought that was so funny. So I stitched a bucket of popcorn there. On Thursday the 23rd, I went with my friend Ellie to Auntie Lucy's Cakery for the first time for the year, I think, and I got a slice of Black Forest cake. Lucy is the best at making cakes, so if you're in Freo, then you should go and visit. And also I work there sometimes, so you might even see me. On the 24th, I watched Annie Ford's Instagram story. She was attempting to beat her own Guinness World Record, the most descent on a mountain bike in a 24-hour period, and she got it. She did it at Coronet Peak in New Zealand. I don't know what actual trail she did it on, but I stitched one of the mountain bike trails that's at Coronet Peak. On Saturday the 25th, Josh and I watched Jack and Megan's first YouTube video of the year. They have bought and are renovating another old caravan, so I stitched the caravan there, which is named Bert. On Sunday the 26th, Josh and I caught the train into the city to go to the Invasion Day protest, so I stitched an Aboriginal flag there to represent that. On the 27th, we went to my friend Matey's house again because we were taking her a TV that we had sitting around the house, and one of my conditions for giving her the TV was that we would get to play Mario Kart when we dropped it off. So when we went and dropped the TV off at her house, we played Mario Kart, so I stitched a little Mario hat there. Tuesday the 28th, we went to the Good Grocer, which is another local grocer here in WA, and I was shocked to see that avocados were 2 for $11. Is that not an insane price for avocados? That's an expensive grocery shop, so I know that they're not all like that, but avocados seem to be really expensive everywhere at the moment. I feel like it was not that long ago I was paying like 50 cents for them, so I'm not sure what's going on with avocados at the moment, but I definitely will not be buying them for a little while. On Wednesday the 29th, I finished reading a book called The Paradise Heights Craft Store Stitch Up by Kate Solly. It's such a cute and fun read. It's about some crafty people who have to solve a mystery, which is so fun. So I just stitched one of the little flowers that's on the front cover of the book. It's meant to be like a cross stitch sort of vibe because that's kind of what the cover of the book looks like. I'm not really happy with how it looks, but I am not doing things again, so I'm just accepting it and leaving it as it is. On Thursday the 30th, I got a really unexpected urge to clean the house, which doesn't sort of happen very often. So I had to grasp that motivation and get some shit done. And part of doing that was rearranging and organizing the linen cupboard. I needed to get some storage things to put in there. So I went to the op shop and bought some wicker baskets to put our towels and stuff in. So I stitched a basket there. And then on the 31st, so the last day of January, Josh and I went to Gage Roads, which is a brewery down in Freo, and we got a pizza and a Yeah Boy, which is a non-alcoholic beer, to celebrate because we went the whole month of January without drinking any alcohol. So I stitched the little can of Yeah Boy there. And that is everything that I've stitched so far this year. I'm really happy with how it's looking so far, and I'm happy with how I'm going with keeping up with it. Obviously, I'm a few days behind now for February, but now that I've filmed this video, I can make a start. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed seeing what I got up to and what I stitched in January. And I guess I should say that if you want to keep up with what I get up to and what I stitch for the rest of the year, then you should give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, because hopefully I'll be sharing more videos. And please let me know if there's anything specific that you want to sort of see. And also, I'm always open to suggestions of things that I should do. If you have any fun activities that you think I should try that I could then add to my journal and into my stitched history, then please let me know. I would love to hear about it, and you never know, maybe it could be on Antiques Roadshow. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next month. Bye.